laying the foundation. In a year, we are still laying the foundation. The president made the declaration. I mean, pardon me, but in 4 years, we are still laying the foundation. The president made the declaration on Thursday. In a message delivered on his behalf by the President of the Senate, Godswill Akpabio, at the inauguration of the executives of the PBAT door-to-door movement, a grassroots political mobilization platform aimed at promoting the renewed hope agenda across the country. Addressing supporters, political leaders, traditional rulers, civil society organizations, and other stakeholders at the event, Tinubu said his administration remains focused on building a stronger nation despite the difficult decisions taken since assuming office. I'm delighted to be here to see what Nigerians are doing from their heart for the development of the nation. I can see people interested in the future of the country, the president said. He added, I'm determined never to betray the trust by Nigerians and the vision of ensuring a better Nigeria. President Tinubu urged members of the movement to embark on sustained grassroots engagement by taking the message to his administration directly to Nigerians, stressing that democracy thrives through continuous interaction with the people. And they've taken so many decisions without carrying us along. So here we go again, Bimbo. The usual sweet words, the usual honey-laced words. It starts maybe this morning. And I feel the pains maybe throughout the day. So I take my medication by night. Okay. I take my second round of medication and I go to sleep. By morning, Bimbo, if I'm not completely better, I mean, if the drugs are effective, if I'm not taking fake drugs, if I'm not taking adulterated medication, Bimbo, the real medication for malaria, and it's just malaria that I have, by dawn, Bimbo, if I'm not totally better, I expect to be feeling better. If not much better, I expect to be feeling better. Nigeria's malaria, Bimbo, since the beginning of this administration, it's been afternoon, it's been evening, now it's twilight. Nigeria is not getting better.
Yes, the malaria is not going. The illness is not improving.
And the president is telling us to look further into the future.
Yes.
Not now.
There will be light at the end of the tunnel.
The man seems to understand to some extent that those reforms have not worked, though he won't say it directly. But to me, this looks like an admittance that there's a lot more, much more still needs to be done. And he's asking Nigerians to trust him again. Well, that's up to Nigerians, Bimbo. That's up to the masses of this country if they want to trust him again. And I'm not the one to declare that this government has failed. Of course, I'm not the one to make that declaration because it's not just about me. It's about over 250 million Nigerians. There are those who think the president has failed in his reforms. There are those who think, and that are not politicians, that think things are going well. I know quite a number of economists and finance experts that will tell you that we are the ones that do not seem to understand what the president is doing, that things are getting a lot better, and they point to various sectors. The way he has been able to plug leakages and loopholes in all the various sectors. They point to infrastructure. But then, for me as the layman, until I'm able to buy a Congo of rice for 200 naira in the market, and I'm able to buy petrol for at least 500 naira a liter. At least it's still a lot, but if I'm still able to buy for that amount, and I'm able to board Keke Marwa from Air to Bashorun for 50 naira, that is when I would know that the reforms are working. And nobody should tell me that this is a tall dream. It was once like that. There was a country. There was a country. There was a system, and there was a structure. And all that, I believe, can be revived if the will is there. But then, well, let's see if the Nigerians are willing to trust Mr. President again. Then we'll have to wait for those reforms to be in the future. After all, even if it's someone else that Nigerians will be trusting with their mandate in 2027, the fruit of the reforms would still have to be in the future. So either ways, we still wait for the future.
And the president spoke through he spoke to Senate President Akpabio at the inauguration of the door-to-door movement, and he talked about other key reforms such as the unification of the foreign exchange market, it led to a significant increase in fuel price, higher transportation costs, and a rise in cost of goods and services nationwide. Yes, that is talking about when the subsidy is gone era, formally ended Nigeria's petrol subsidy regime. And he said more than 3 years later, the APC-led federal government maintained that the funds saved the subsidy removal have been invested in programs designed to improve citizens' welfare and drive national development, while insisting that its broader economic reforms are beginning to produce positive outcomes. And Akpabio said Tinubu's reforms had improved Nigeria's economy, noting that monthly allocations to the 3 tiers of government had risen from less than 700 billion naira to over 2 trillion naira. Part of the achievements. Yes, sir. The positive achievements.
Remember, guess who the grand patron of the PBAT door-to-door movement is? High Chief Government Oluyole Ekpomopolo,
also known as Tompolo,
Managing Director, Tantita Security Services Limited. Is the one behind the initiative, and the president had a special word for him. The president also commended High Chief Government Ekpomopolo, popularly known as Tompolo, and members of the PBAT door-to-door movement for initiating the grassroots mobilization campaign. And they say that by commending High Chief Government Ekpomopolo and his team for putting this together. We are united whenever the nation calls. The man who was trusted over state actors for secure the nation's oil pipelines. And like I always give that analogy, at risk of sounding like a broken record, the farm has been handed over to the Akuko, to the maize farm, has been handed over to Mr. Akuko, Mr. Cock, to guard it. So it doesn't matter how much of the maize, of the corn he takes for himself, as long as the farm remains secure from other Akukos in the neighborhood. So that is the reality of things. And I'm wondering just how much Nigerians will be trusting this man. Supposing maybe, I'm just thinking aloud now, supposing the mobilization involves Chief Ekpomopolo himself directly, and he comes knocking on my door, I'm not sure how much I'll be willing to trust this very man that I know is only trying to feather his own nest. He's only trying to ensure the continuity of whatever portion of the cake is eating presently. And this is why he'll be doing this. It's not for the love of Nigerians. So if they had chosen someone else, I would have understood. But then for this particular person, Bimbo, you know that he's only protecting his own interests and making sure that whatever he's eating does not get cut short abruptly. So much for Mr. President and his PBAT movement.
I remember Tompolo, the movement, the door-to-door movement, Tompolo, he used to be a militant, Niger Delta militant.
Repentant, reformed?
Repentant. Yes, this one says the clamor for the establishment of state police gained renewed momentum on Thursday as senior government officials, governors, lawmakers, security experts, and international stakeholders converged on Abuja to canvass a comprehensive overhaul of Nigeria's policing architecture, arguing that the country's worsening insecurity demanded a decentralized security system backed by strong legal safeguards, sustainable funding, community participation, and improved intelligence gathering. And the consensus emerged at a town hall meeting on state police and national security, where participants maintained that although the proposed constitutional amendment to allow state policing was a major step towards addressing terrorism, banditry, kidnapping, and violent crimes, its success will depend largely on the legal, financial, and institutional frameworks put in place to prevent abuse and ensure accountability. And well, the event came barely 2 days after President Bola Tinubu inaugurated the Presidential Working Group on the National Policing Bill to draft the legal framework for implementing state police following the Senate's passage of the Constitution of the Federal Government of Nigeria Alteration State Police Bill 2026. And well, the stakeholders, especially the SDP, they rejected Chief of Staff Femi Gbajabiamila, yes, to serve on the panel. Following the ongoing, scandal that linked him to the self-styled and ghost agency headed by one Prince Adeyemi, which is still being investigated.
I think everyone should reject him until he's able to clear his name, until he's able to wash his babadiga, his agbada clean of whatever filth has been hauled at him by this scandal. And it's only decent for him also to know that at this point in time that very few Nigerians will be willing to trust him with such responsibility. But his boss, in his own wisdom, has deemed it fit that he should be at the head. I think he's at the head of the panel now.
Yes.
And now, as for state police and what the governors are saying, well, they are calling for a dotting of the I's and the T's, and so it's not a matter of the governors trying to put clogs in the wheels of implementing state police, because after all, we shouldn't see it like that, because after all, it is more to their advantage to state police. It would, and that's the reality, it would give them more powers to act against insecurity in their respective areas. So I think what they are asking for, I think it's suffice, and I think that is what should be happening now. Okay, let's have this commercial break and we'll be back.
Lọ gba káàdì ìdìbò rẹ o. Go get your PVC. Go get your PVC. O lè kópa o nínú ètò ìdìbò tó ń bọ̀ 2027. Àwẹ̀ go get your PVC. Iléeṣẹ́ tẹlifíṣọ̀n àti rédíò ìpínlẹ̀ Ọ̀yọ́ BCOS Ilé Akéde ló ń gbé sí wa létí pé yára lọ gba káàdì ìdìbò rẹ kó tó di pé gbígbà rẹ̀ máa tẹnubodò, pàápàá jùlọ kó o lè bá a kópa nínú àwọn tó máa fìbò sọ̀rọ̀ sókè lọ́dún 2027. Yára lọ gba káàdì ìdìbò rẹ. Àwẹ̀ go get your PVC.
Talking about police affairs, Bimbo, it says Senate approves 404 billion police trust fund budget for 2025-2026. Now, a total of 404.07 billion naira was approved by the Senate for the Nigeria Police Trust Fund (MPTF) on Thursday. The budget broken into 170.10 billion naira for 2025 and 233.96 billion naira for 2026. It was strengthening police operations across the country. The Senate approved the funds after or considered the report of its Committee on Police Affairs presented by Senator Yunus Akintunde, Oyo Central. The committee is chaired by Senator Abdul Hamid Ahmed Malam Madori, Jigawa East. However, the Oyo lawmaker acted on his behalf as Malam Madori was away. Akintunde, while presenting the report, said the 2025 budget was being reconsidered because implementation of the previously approved budget could not commence due to legal issues surrounding the amendment of the Nigeria Police Trust Fund Establishment Act. He noted this budget proposal was previously approved for implementation under the 2024 fiscal period. However, owing to developments arising from the proposed amendment of the Nigeria Police Trust Fund Establishment Act 2019 and other circumstances beyond the control of the fund, implementation could not commence. Well, now we have the 404 billion naira approved, and of course, so many laudable programs that we hear about, and initially we applaud, but then many at times with
At
a
the end
pinch
of
of
the day.
salt, trust deficit.
Yes.
At the back of our minds, we begin to think that is this going to translate into a better Nigeria police, into a better equipped Nigeria police, the kind of police that would have, such that when we have urban disturbances, well, talking about even terrorism, but that we would feel confident enough to deploy the police and not overstretch the military. Are we going to be having that kind of police force from this? But then, from past antecedents, Nigerians would always have their doubts, no matter how laudable the program is. So, like I said at the beginning of this our discussion, it is time that we begin to see more of the fruits of any reform or of any elaborate structural change in the affairs of this country across the various sectors. It is time for whoever is in government at any point in time to begin to earn that trust back from Nigerians. The trust is not there, it has vanished, and whoever is in power must earn it. Mr. President, as he is, well, I think he's trying to earn that trust, but then it doesn't seem to be working. His efforts don't seem to be working much, and maybe he needs to do more. So, police trust fund. Well, let's pray that this will translate into a better and more equipped police force.
If eventually, well, it has been approved, the money has been approved, and well, if eventually it transmits into the real the real funds, we hope that it will not go into private pockets again, and we hope that it will be used for what it was meant for. What it is meant for, and we hope it will not grow wings and just fly away. You remember the film Gone with the Winds.
Well, what it's meant for, Bimbo, Senator Abdul Ahmed Ningi, Bauchi Central, noted that the Police Trust Fund plays a critical role in addressing funding gaps within the Nigeria Police, noting that legal disputes had prevented the fund from spending appropriated resources for nearly 3 years. And I think the trust fund comes from various sources, Bimbo. And well, they are saying other MDA should take a cue from this, because capital spending has greater potential to positively impact the operations of agencies.
Let them just make it clear to Nigerians. Let them make it clear to let us know what the funds are being used for. And well, like you said now, it is not really too clear what the fund will be used for.
I know it's politicking time now, so
yes.
I hope it doesn't. That money, we keep referring to it during the Jonathan era, that was meant for the procurement of arms for the military, suddenly was diverted into funding political activities.
Yes.
At politics now.
Before politics, I have this one here. Tinubu meets security chiefs amid troops' salary backlash. Let me quickly go through that. Reactions have trailed the disclosure by the Minister of Defense, Christopher Musa, that Nigerian soldiers now earn a minimum monthly salary of 100,000 naira, and veterans and serving personnel describe the amount as grossly inadequate. And this is as they accused President Bola Tinubu of failing to implement a salary increment he promised nearly 4 months ago. And this comes as President Tinubu on Thursday evening convened a security meeting at the Presidential Villa, Abuja, comprising the entire military command, intelligence leadership, and top security advisors, including the Special Advisor on Homeland Security, Major General Adeyinka Famadewa, retired, whom he appointed in May. And well, that is a kind of complaint. That is a kind of thing that will makes morale of soldiers low in the course of their duties. Yes, the funds, the money, the salary is very, very, to me, very, very inappropriate.
Yeah, well, it's not a matter of what you think personally, Bimbo. It's the truth. It's very, very inadequate. 100,000. So that means the lowest ranking officer in the military, the rank of private, and would be earning 100,000 naira. And for those who might be thinking that that is a lot, Bimbo, they must think of the value of the naira now. So it's grossly inadequate. Just like we too that are civilians, just like what we earn is also grossly inadequate. And when you're talking about the realities of the times, but then even more so for these men and women that have to go out there to put their lives on the line so that all of us can be safe. For those that have to sometimes pay the supreme price, many a times they pay the supreme price.
Yes.
So for that fact alone, Bimbo, even these precarious times, I think, well, they said that there was a promise 4 months ago. Well, maybe the processes are still being still on. So let's hope that soon that Mr. President himself, as the commander-in-chief, would look into this.
And some retired soldiers are, doubting this one, Zaki Williams. He questioned whether the figure disclosed by the minister was even accurate. And it also doubted that they are paying what they are paying up to are they paying up to that amount now. He said it is a lie, and he described any government paying soldiers 100,000 naira as not a serious one, given the hardships troops face.
Well, sometimes, the man could be right, the retired officer could be right, because sometimes certain things happen that the person who is at the helm of affairs might not be aware of. I'm talking about the minister now. There's a particular establishment, Bimbo, where the head of that establishment was shocked to learn that some people were still earning a particular amount. He had a meeting with the head of two particular units within that establishment, and they told him that there are people who are still earning a particular amount, which was grossly low. And she argued, and the head of that establishment said that that cannot be. That so obviously she was not aware. I mean, the head of this particular establishment I'm talking about was not aware that some people were still earning that low until she was. So she now made her findings. Or discovered that the process of implementing what she directed was being delayed. So immediately she gave the directive that that should be done. So sometimes, like that officer now has said, sometimes the minister himself might not know. Is relying on what is before him on paper. So it happens like that at times. And politics now, Bimbo, and let's narrow down to your states. It says Adelabu, Folani, Buhari, Olaniyan meet. Adelabu is the one who wanted to be a contender for the APC governorship ticket in your state, and Folani, former Senate leader. Buhari, Fatai Buhari, a senator, and then Olaniyan, I believe, once with that former deputy governor in your state.
Yes.
So at their meeting, what was their meeting about? They have resolved to work for President Tinubu's victory, and according to the writer here, they are silent on Oyo governorship. Okay, let's see what that is all about, since it concerns Oyo State. Notable leaders of the All Progressive Congress APC in Oyo State met on Thursday and expressed readiness to only work for the success of President Bola Tinubu in the 2027 elections. Well, the APC, they should be working for the re-election of the president. The meeting, however, was silent on other candidates of the party, including the governorship election. The meeting, which was held at an undisclosed location in Ibadan, had in attendance former Senate leader and governorship candidate of the party in the 2023 election, Senator Teslim Folani, former Minister of Power, Chief Adebayo Adelabu, Senator Abdul Fatai Buhari, and the former Deputy Governor of the state, Engineer Rahuf Olaniyan. Apart from the leaders, the meeting was also said to have had in attendance representatives from the 33 local government areas of the state. The meeting, held behind closed doors, was said to have deliberated on strategies to ensure victory for the party at the presidential election. Now, it also says here, Adelabu supporters protest demand release of Oyo APC gubernatorial primary election results. Well, I thought that was done and dusted.
Yes.
So meanwhile, APC members in Oyo State who are majorly loyalists of the immediate past Minister of Power, Chief Adebayo Adelabu, on Thursday, protested in Ibadan, calling on the National Working Committee, NWC of the party, to release the results of the party's gubernatorial primary election results. The protesters, who carried placards with various inscriptions such as "Our votes is our right, release our primary results," "We need primary election results," "We say no to imposition and manipulation, we demand for primary results," "Credible process build a stronger party," and "Democracy, not dictatorship," among others, marched across various parts of Ibadan, including Molete and Okeado, where the state party secretariat is located.
Like you said, without all those out there been done with, and I don't know why are they, demanding for the release of the result.
Of course, their principal is not happy with the outcome of the primaries. So they, I guess, maybe he must have been the one that put them up to this. And they are demanding that the Reconciliation Committee recently set up by the party can only yield positive results if results of the primary elections are released for members of the party to see. And I'm wondering, Bimbo, we have had this trend across the country now where major contenders go into primaries for a particular position, particularly the governorship position, the governorship ticket, and then one of them wins, and then immediately after, the one that has won, of course the others as usual are not satisfied. So the one that wins goes personally to knock on the doors of the ones that are aggrieved, and he tries to reconcile. So I don't know why it has happened in quite a few states, and even at the level of the president, the battle for the presidential seat. Atiku going to visit Rotimi Amici and all that, and I think Mr. Amici is now to be his running mate. So now I don't know why that has not happened in Oyo State. Maybe a situation where Barrister Sharafadin Ali, Senator Sharafadin Abiodun Ali would go visiting Chief Adelabu in particular and other aggrieved persons to mend fences with them instead of waiting on the Reconciliation Committee. Just me, I'm not a politician, but just me thinking that maybe what they can do to mend the fences within their party.
Yes, the Grand Master Planner is in the news again. That is the Minister of the Federal Capital Territory. Yes, in some week. He said it will be difficult for the People's Democratic Party to win a presidential election unless it first rebuilds its internal structures and resolves its lingering internal crisis. Who started the crisis?
The structure he helps to destroy. Let me just say, the structure he destroyed. He destroyed it, so he should build it. If he knows that it's PDP and he wants the PDP to win.
Yes.
And if he's still professing PDP, then he should build to what he destroyed.
Yes. And yes, we'll take a short break again before we go to the phone lines.
Fikuru kò sọ bẹ́ẹ̀ jẹ́ ká dùn máa ṣàn mo bí gbogbo oúnjẹ ṣe gba ìfẹ́ gbogbo ènìyàn. Terra oorun dídùn ń rukún gbogbo ilé ń sọ gbogbo oúnjẹ alẹ́ dá láyọ̀ láti jẹ. Terra
kìlọ̀ ṣí ayọ̀ tú ìtọ́wò àdùn sílẹ̀.
Lọ gba káàdì ìdìbò rẹ o. Go get your PVC. Go get your PVC. O lè kópa o nínú ètò ìdìbò tó ń bọ̀ 2027. Àwẹ̀ go get your PVC. Iléeṣẹ́ tẹlifíṣọ̀n àti rédíò ìpínlẹ̀ Ọ̀yọ́ BCOS Ilé Akéde ló ń gbé sí wa létí pé yára lọ gba káàdì ìdìbò rẹ kó tó di pé gbígbà rẹ̀ máa tẹnubodò pàápàá jùlọ kó o lè bá a kópa nínú àwọn tó máa fìbò sọ̀rọ̀ sókè lọ́dún 2027. Yára lọ gba káàdì ìdìbò rẹ. Àwẹ̀ go get your PVC.
Alright, we're back, and the program is still Conversation on Oluyole 98.5 FM. But as we open the phone lines, U.S. publishes names, photos of 124 Nigerians facing deportation over criminal convictions. And alleged 15 million naira corruption. Ex-CCCT chairman Danladi Umar remanded in Kuje. So he's playing with jail over just 15 million naira. Let's if you are going to go to jail, but I think you should have stolen more.
Yes.
So he would know what he's going to jail for.
Yes, and $2.33 million probe. Mieti Allah leader Budejo faces trial, remanded. Hello, good morning.
Good morning. Good to have you, sir.
So, in a nutshell, my own opinion, my own observation. So what Mr. President said is that he's facing for the future. So he doesn't care for the.
Oh, do you want to call us back, Mr. Ojo Michael? We lost that call.
070-5555-1985. Hello, good morning.
Good morning.
Hello, good morning.
Good morning.
Good
to have you.
About the two promises second term office. Yes, Tala, I don't know what you say is regulating. When you have malaria, you are taking malaria medicine. Period. Remember they're not going. You can better do that. That's the promise you do again. Promise that it will not achieve anything. For example, when Governor Makin they come on board, just 6 months is different. 1 year is different. But this one now no different though. But then another can go. I thought you say they're different. They're enjoying. They're living in one house. They know what they're suffering up and down. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. Emerin, for always being brief and straight to the point.
Hello, good morning.
Hello, I can be advised.
Good morning.
Good to have you, Mr.
Good morning, sir.
Good morning.
God will continue to work with you and bless your work, the work of your hand in Jesus' name.
Amen.
Amen. At times, when I sit down thinking about the different negative happenings in Nigeria, this question always comes to my mind. Is Nigeria as a country caused to be suffering in the midst of plenty? Thus, that is the question that used to come to my mind. Talking about natural resources, we have them in abundance. We are also blessed with super intellectual merit in Nigeria. Yet, with these human and natural resources given to us without measure by God, we are still suffering, wallowing in poverty. Take for example, this present administration, as far as I'm concerned, to me personally, this is the worst government ever. That we introduce stringent measures that we don't reach men to poor, the average to complete beggar. But apart from the psychopaths Tinubu is surrounded with, who can never tell him the true state of things? Yet, we still have suffering people defending the government, which is more baffling. Majority, not all of Nigerians, can be described as captives who love their chains. They enjoy being caged and stagnated. Don't be surprised. Those people crying that the price of petrol is now high. We still come out, crop out, in the open scorching sun during the election to cast their vote for the reason of 2,000 and 5,000 naira. Yeah, we good. Good morning, sir.
Thank you very much.
All right, thank you, Mr. Akombiadebayo. Well, like I always say, while you are bewildered and worried that some Nigerians who are the receiving end of these harsh reforms and policies that do not seem to be yielding fruits, we'll still go on to praise Mr. President that he's doing well. Well, that is the reality of things. Maybe they genuinely believe that the president is doing well and that this government is doing well, and they have a right to that. Just as you have a right to think that they are not doing well. All right.
Yes,
yes.
Cooking gas prices remain high despite improved supply. The reasons we do not know. Hello, good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning. Now, I listened to Chris Musa yesterday on those children at the job at the Gomasho at the radio government, and was giving the excuse of why the reason why they are not released and that the known since last 50 days. One thing is, they said they want their people released. Why is the government not their people to them? So they used to release their people to them in the north. Yes, they did that. In fact, there was a time during the general tenure that they had to break through the Kuje Bridge. Remember that time? Those guys came to Kuje Bridge and free their own people. The government allowed them to do so. So release their people to them. Let our people come back now. Later you can figure out what you will do to their people and them. So please, they should spare us all this explanation. Today, Friday, they should release their people to them and release that all their teachers and their students should be released to them too. So thank you.
Well, some questions I've always asked myself, Mr. Jide, if the terrorists are using